let me try to present agoraubi.org universal basic income system that I developed kind of it's actually not a hobby. It was a serious project that I financed myself. It was bothering me for a long time. I just couldn't let it go. I had to do it. There was no way around it. Now, I'm not trying to explain that to you, but there was just, I just had no choice. Now, what is universal basic income? I probably understand this a little bit differently than most people, and it's in my mind, it's actually decentralized minting of money. That's the purest form of universal basic income that I can describe or that I can define. So it's not something that government gives you, or any government gives you, and then you can spend it freely the way you like it. That's not how universal basic income should be defined, because there are different exploitations of that system. For example, you can get €1,000 in your, or 2,000, or I don't know how much would be enough for you to get into your wallet, and then some people would just go live in Thailand or in Myanmar or something like that, or some other country where €2,000 would actually make you very rich, and that would be an exploit that everyone else would have to pay for it. So I think you can never expect any government to actually realize universal basic income in the form that I just described. Now, the only way we can actually have a successful universal basic income is that the whole world is eligible for the same rules, and that's it. And I think it's possible today, and I think it's that blockchain technology actually gave us that. Now, the way blockchain tokens are currently designed are that they're always offered on some kind of exchange, and you have to buy them with fiat currencies. And of course, when they're created, the founder always gives themselves, I don't know, 20% of all the tokens, and then maybe sometimes you can count on a rug pull or something like that, and then you're left with whatever is on the market. So I think those are very useless. Even Bitcoin, in my mind, is relatively useless because it's accumulated in one very concentrated place, or in a very few wallets, even more than current fiat currencies like in banks or whatever. And that's basically it. You can't have universal basic income unless it's on blockchain and unless the rules are hard coded onto the blockchain. And that's the basic idea behind my project that I designed here. It's called Agora Ubi. Agora is Greek word for market, and Ubi is universal basic income. Besides universal basic income, I also implemented the voting system, because once you're already registered, why not also vote for something? For example, I have a couple of voting cards here. So I guess I was the only one voting here, but should Israel continue to receive any support from any foreign country in the Palestine conflict, and then you vote yes or no. I don't want to tell you what to do. I just voted no. So Western nations currently provide military equipment and financial support to Ukraine in the ongoing conflict with Russia. Should this support continue? And again, vote no. So you vote whatever you like. And since there's only one wallet per person, you can actually, it's a pretty useful voting system to have in a wallet as well. So that's one of those things I also wanted to implement, and it kind of feels right at the moment. Now, the Agora Ubi system here is basically a wallet that has tokens inside, and you get. So this system was launched on the 31st of December 2025, so it's relatively new. That's why I only have 37 571 tokens. I sent a few, never received any, but you see, when you register, you initially get 36,500, and that's now the reason for 36,500 is 1 year's worth of tokens. When you register, you get 1 year's worth of tokens retroactively, so as if you registered 1 year before, and then you can claim 100 per day. I already claimed today. I will show you a little bit of excerpt, because before I started recording this screenshot, I recorded before also, but I wasn't happy with it, so I just, now I can't claim again. I'd have to wait 1 day or 23 hours. I just did that. But I'll show you that video anyway. So I claimed today, a couple of minutes ago, and you can see here my wallet, which is, it says don't trust, verify, and yes, that's it. You can go on Solana Explorer, and then here you see my wallet, and even though it says account does not exist, it means that I just don't have Solana on my wallet. That's why it doesn't exist. But it does exist, and it has tokens on it, and it has the same amount of tokens that are also in my dashboard. So unless you can hack Solana's Solana blockchain and my digital signatures and other people's signatures, then it's pretty safe. Here it says how much I can claim. Here are my recent transactions. I'm going to send a couple of tokens. For example, here I have a couple of contacts. I have Jane and I have Treasury. Let's say I want to send something to Treasury, and I don't have Treasury yet in my. Okay, let's delete Treasury from the. You see, if you want to do anything important in this wallet, you have to hold it, because otherwise, I could accidentally click on this X and just delete my contacts. Not the best way to go about. But since I wanted to, you say, if I could hold it, then it goes out. It's deleted. I want to add it again, and it's here, and this I know is Treasury. So I'm going to have Treasury again. Yeah. And I want to send Treasury 1.5 Agora tokens. And again, if I want to send it, I need to hold it for 5 seconds. And when I send it, 37570. You see, it was sent successfully. Now let's see if we can see this. See, it says 37571 because it wasn't refreshed yet. I'm going to press F5 now. You see, 37570. So it's every transaction is recorded on Solana blockchain, and these are essentially NFT tokens, but they're programmed on Solana blockchain in such a way as a smart contract that you can't buy them. You can only receive them. So if you are registered, you get 36,500 immediately, and then you receive 100 per day, and that's it. And imagine if we all had this money. The only way you can have more is not by creating more debt, it's just by creating value to the world, which is essentially the idea of money. Like, can you see the difference between the money that we have right now and this one? It's just, I mean, if you can't see this difference, I can't help you. I just can't help you. And what you're buying here, because you see, I'm an architect. Okay, and so can you be. You can also be an architect. I will show you how you can register in a different video. But first, let's just sleep over this, check what this is. You have to buy transactions, because transactions cost on Solana. Right now, I put 8 Solana in the common treasury, so we can all. I wanted to kickstart it. So you buy transactions, and right now it's for about, I don't know, maybe 1 million transactions. We can work for 1 million transactions. We can make 1 million transactions for free. But still, if we want to participate in the system, you need to buy transactions. And what you do is you just say how many transactions you want. Let's say I want 100 transactions. And I want 10 claims. And I want one proposal. What the proposal is essentially this thing down here. So I want to make a global proposal, or I want to make, I don't know, school in Afghanistan, school in, I don't know, Kabul. And then you just send this to the admin dashboard. And then we go back and forth. You see, here's my, this is a little bit of a test. Here we go a little bit back and forth. So if you just send me school in Kabul, I won't know what this is. But let's say you want to build a school in Kabul. And I will ask you, okay, what exactly do you want to do with this school in Kabul? How will you finance it? And then we will go back and forth a little bit. And then eventually this proposal will be here under Afghanistan, or I don't know, maybe global. There will be a proposal here that will say, let's build a school in Afghanistan by donating €1 each, or I don't know how much. It doesn't matter, but we do that. So this is what the proposal is. It means that you want to propose a constructive idea for the world. And then if you decide to buy 100 transactions and 10 claims and one proposal, then you go to checkout and you go to Stripe, and my company gets 1576. Out of that, you get to make 100 transactions and 10 claims and one proposal. Why proposal is expensive? Well, because I have to, go back and forth with you. It's my time that you're paying. It's that simple. You don't have to do any proposals. Don't worry about it. You just pay for your transactions, and those are relatively cheap. It's less than any bank that you can imagine. Now, eventually, your registration will expire, and the reason for expiration is just there's just one thing, and it's because people die. And if you're dead, you cannot participate in the system, and we cannot allow you to pass on your wallet to someone else. You can pass on your tokens to someone else if you like, but you cannot have multiple claims, because you see, the wallets are the ones that are the public addresses that claim the tokens. So, for example, let's say your mother died and she gave you her wallet, and then you have two wallets and you claim twice as much as a person that did not receive another wallet. That's why after 1 year your registration expires, and you need to re-register, re-verify your identity for 99 cents. Out of those 99 cents, most of it is tax and Stripe payments. I get about 30 to 40 cents, and I use that to buy servers, and I use that to buy electricity, internet, and I also pay for my other food and stuff like that. So all you give me is 40 cents. Everything else goes to taxes. And so if you're afraid that I'm getting too much money, or if I'm getting rich, I'm not. This is not the point of it. The point here is to take back the power of money to the people. That's the point. Whether you understand that or not, sleep over it, try to understand it, and all you need to do to register here is risk 99 cents. Again, let's look at where this takes us. You see Stripe up here? I have no idea what your identity is. I have no idea what you just make a fake email here. Now, is this anonymous or not? Do you see my name anywhere here? You don't, because I will show you I will show you the database that I have on the server. Let me show you that. Okay, now we're on the server, and let's see what the database is storing. So sudo as user postgres psql d. The database is called Agora db, and we're going to execute command. And the tables that we have inside are these. So we have error logs, we have messages, proposals, transactions, we have users, and we have votes. So the users has data about the uniqueness of the user. Now let me show you what I mean by that. D plus users. So what the interesting thing inside this table, or something that could identify you potentially, is, so the ID that's just an integer. This the number that says you were the first one, the second one, it doesn't matter. So if you were the first one that registered, you have number 1, and so on. Identity hash. This is one thing that could identify you, but probably not, because I will show you what it is. And there's the face embedding vector. The identity hash and face embedding vector, which one is encrypted and the other one is your identity hashed. So let's look at what that actually is. So let's go inside here and let's do select left face embedding text 200 from users, and let's limit to 1. So this is your face embedding vector. If you can see anything from that, no. And it's not even your face embedding vector, it's actually your face embedding vector. It's your face embedding vector encrypted. Now, encrypted is because we want to have your data as safe as possible, and your face embedding vector by itself is 512 numbers that are similar for two same faces and are different for two different faces. And no one can reconstruct your face from that. They can only guess it if they have your face, and then they run an algorithm that calculates your face embedding vector. They could actually guess that face embedding vector and compare it. But other than that, your face is unknown only from face embedding vector. But it's personal data, and that's why we have it encrypted. Now we need that because let's look at this. Let's see what users give us. So identity hash. And identity hash, again, is just some nonsense, but always the same nonsense for the same identity. So it's not random, but it's in a way encrypted, but unguessable. So it's just well, we call it hashed. For those of you I'm actually explaining to those of you who don't know what hash is. So it's nonsense, but it's always the same nonsense for the same identity. So this is how we know that you're a unique person, and this is how we know that if there are two people with the same name, surname, and date of birth, this is how we know that those two people are different if we look at their face embedding vectors. For example, let me give you an example. So let's say there are collision examples where you have two Muhammad Alis born on the 1st of February 1972. It wouldn't be fair if you only registered the first one and then the second one would be banned from registering again. You see, that's why if we see that there is the same identity hash once, then we also look at their face embedding vectors, and then we see that that's actually a different person or the same person. For example, so one example is one example would be to protect people from collisions. So two people with the same name, surname, and identity, date of birth, they both need to be registered if they want, of course. But then again, if you have a person with two passports, they shouldn't have two wallets, right? So those would also have the same identities, but they would also have the same face embedding vectors. So those should not be registered again. So that's why we have both, and we check for both. And that's it. Everything else here is unidentifiable. You cannot be identified by any of these data. What we get back, you might see Iris Session ID. Now, Iris ID is the company, Swedish company that does checking of passports for us, and then they send us your uniqueness, whether you're a unique person or not. So this is how we know that this is not your iris from your eyeball. It's Iris Session ID and Iris token from the registration process. This is how we know that you're a unique person. So if you're worried about that, well, we cannot. This is the least amount of information that we can. Unfortunately, if you're worried about that, this is the least amount of information that we can have that this system can run, because we cannot trust you that you will only create one wallet, because for sure there will be people, if we don't have these checks, that there will be people who will just have 10,000 wallets, and then you will have just one, and then they get 10. It's just forget about it. There's no way around this. So these two numbers are the ones that make sure that you are a unique person, and that's all we need. We need to prove that you are a unique person. Of course, there are Jason Bournes and all that, who can have 10 different passports with 10 different names. There's nothing we can do about that. But I don't think it's worth buying that for something you can get for free, or very cheaply. So next time we can look at the registration process, and we can look at the rules. But first, sleep over, and this is my best attempt at making the money that has the same rules for everyone. Not just some banks get like $1 trillion more than you do, or me, or whatever. We all get the same. And if you provide value to the market, then you will earn more. That's how nature works. There's nothing in nature acts the way current monetary systems work, except for cancer, maybe. Cancer is the one that steals everything, all the resources from the organism, and then kills it. But I don't think we want that, right? So think about it, and let's register the next time. Okay, sleep over.